So one of the things I'm going to do as we analyze this particular test is I'm going to go through and highlight some things for you that I think would be helpful. So let's take the very first question. What do you think are some key words here that pop up immediately? According to figure 1. That means this is a what? A look it up question. It tells you exactly where to go. Okay, we looked at this one yesterday. You go over there. Again, it was hard on your test because of the key or whatever, but you can look. You know, cheese is the open one. It told you. So you come over here at 4 hours on cheese. And then go across here, and you're just above 180. Okay? So that's a look it up. Okay, number 2, things that we talked about a little bit yesterday. This right here, what is all that? Sorry. It's just a big technical term that is there to throw you off. We said yesterday, what is it? It's a cockroach. That's all it is, okay? Big words to try to throw you off. Key term here, again, things you want to look at. Here, based on figure 1, so again, it's a what? A look it up question. Something else here that is helpful is this word right here, maximize, okay? What's maximize mean? Get the most, okay? Look for words like that, the most, the least, okay, the fewest, whatever the key words are. So in this particular case, it says we're wanting to trap these cockroaches. Which food is going to maximize our opportunity to catch them? So when we look at this graph, what we're doing is we're looking to see, you know what? What food do cockroaches like the most? Whichever food they like the most, that's probably the food I'm going to use to catch them. So how do we look at this chart and see which food they like the most? Whichever food is, there's the least of at the end, exactly. Because if there's less of it, that means they've eaten it. What do you notice at the beginning? They all started with the same amount, right? They all started with the same amount up here. Which one did they have the least amount of at the end? Peanuts, right here. Okay? So again, terminology. All right, next page. Again, things to look for in the question. Proteins from lowest to highest. Okay, that's a pattern. Lowest to highest. One of the things we talked about was making sure that you look for patterns in a figure. Okay. Again, right here in question 4, data in figure 1. So again, telling us kind of where to go. Where to go. Let's talk about question 5 for a second. Okay. It says data in figure 1 support this prediction. Okay. So we're going to figure 1, but this is an inference or an interpretation, more of a generalization question. But what do you notice about the answers? Yes, yes, no, no. This is one where you want to try to do PO. What's PO again? Process of elimination. Listen, you may not get all the details, but at least if you can figure out, is it a yes or is it a no? You've got it down to a 50-50 chance, okay? So sometimes, and this is on the back end, so this is one that was more missed, right? Because it's one of the end problems in the passage, it gets harder. So if at least you can get it down to a 50-50, you know, that those are in your favor to guess the correct answer. So, and again, in this next one, it says based on table 1, okay? Honestly, the first passage not too bad because in the question itself, there was really only two things presented, one table and then one chart, okay? So, all right, let's go to the next one. So we said this next passage type was what? This was our conflicting viewpoint, okay? Conflicting viewpoint. So if you notice with this one, there is a lot more reading involved, yes? So that's why I said for some of you who are good readers, this may be your best passage type. You may have knocked this one out of the park and done really well. The problem is, how many conflicting viewpoints are ever going to be on a test? There's only going to be one. So if that's your best, really, really do well on it. Get as many of those questions right as possible. If it's 6 or 7, try to get them all. If it's your worst, put it off to the end, okay? If you have time, here's what my strategy would be. We said this yesterday. Look for questions that focus on one person. For example, this one says, Student 1. I don't have to read all those passages. All I've got to do is read Student 1, and then I've got a good chance to figure it out. Let's take it a step further. Go to the next page. Let's look at all the questions here. This says Student 3. Okay. So now I've got to read 2. We said yesterday, if you look at the other questions, this one down here, all the answer choices include all the students. That means I would have to know everybody. What's that mean for me? That means for me personally, if this is my worst passage type, I'm probably just, Xing that one out, and I'll go with my letter of the day on it because I got to read everything. Probably not going to have time. Everybody with me? Okay. Look at the next one. Students 2, 3, 4. Again, if this is my worst, I'm probably skipping that one. The next one, look at your answer choices, students 2 and 4. Okay, maybe I have time, but again, this is on the back end. That means this is probably a what? Harder question. Okay, so maybe I have to skip that one. Now, the reason I left 9 and 13, they don't mention any particular student. However, again, look at your answer choices. Solid, solid, liquid, liquid. So, strategy here, try to use POE, process of elimination. Get it down to 50-50. Help yourself, okay? Same way here. What do we have? Lower, lower, or higher, higher, okay? When you see answer choices that are diametrically opposite, okay, try to at least focus on those and get it down to the 2 choices, and then if you have to, go with 11. This is not like the math letter of the day like we talked about, even distribution. Try to help yourself and then go with one of those, okay? Now again, we're just focusing on questions. How are you going to get better at this? You just have to practice. You got to practice passages, find your strengths, find your weaknesses. All right, let's go to the next one because this is where it all kind of blew up for people. This next passage, experiments. Partially because this is quite a bit. There's a lot of reading. There's 2 tables, okay, 2 different experiments going on. Lots of questions you have to ask or answer about it. So again, my focus would be read the question first, then go back and try to find the answer. Save yourself some time. Use some time management here. So again, things I'm going to look for. Look it up questions. Does it tell me exactly where to go? Okay. So this particular one, number 14, I actually have, it says experiment 2, but it also says in the trial in experiment 1. That's a comparison question. I've got to look at both. Same thing in 15, experiment 1, experiment 2. It's a comparison. I got to look at both. Okay, 16. What's it say? Difference in experiments 1 and 2. Okay, again, you got to look at both. Okay, let me show you this also about, look at the answer choice for 16 for F and G. Somebody tell me something you notice about the answers for F and G.
They both tested for the
Okay, what do you notice about how they're presented? They're almost completely what? They're opposites, yeah. Everybody see what I mean by opposites? They've switched where the things are. This is not 100% true, but I'm telling you, this will help you. Anytime on a science test you have two answer choices that are complete opposites of each other. Okay, two. Not like the Poe questions we looked at where four, two were solid, solid, and then the other two were liquid, liquid. All four are kind of different. You're trying to cut it in half. But in an answer like this one, where only two of your four answers are complete opposites, very rarely will those two be the correct answer. So you can almost go ahead and eliminate those, and now you've got it down to two answers. Does everybody understand what I was trying to say there or not? When you have four answer choices, and two of those are complete opposites, you can pretty much eliminate those, and that gets it down to the last two. Now, it's not 100% true, but that is very often the case. Okay, question 17. Both experiments. I got to look at both. But there is a key term here in this one. Constant. Do y'all know what constant means? Stays the same. So what you're looking for in that one is what was the same in both experiments. What didn't change. Okay? So a key term you got to know. That's not a technical term. They're trying to confuse you. It's just a key term you're looking for. All right. Question 18. Experiment 2. Look at my answer choices again. What do I have? Greater, greater than, less, less. Use Poe again. Try to get it down to a 50-50. And then question 20. Let's go to question 20. What's it say? Based on figure 1. Now, even though it's one figure, again, this is a harder question. Are we starting to see kind of the terms and things I'm looking for? Things I'm trying to identify in the questions to help me find solutions or answers, okay? Let's quickly go through the rest of the test. We're going to go a little bit faster now. The next page. I want you to help me. Is there something in question 24 that you should highlight? Figure 2 tells you where to go. That's a look it up. What about question 22? Figure 3. It's another look it up. It tells you where to go. Okay? Okay. 23 is what? Figures 2 and 3. So that's a comparison. That might be a little bit harder because you got to look at two things. What about 24? Okay, figures 2 and 3 again. 25, figure 2. Very good. Okay, 26, anything in 26 we see? No, okay, good. Figures 2 and 3. Not only that, okay, look right here. What do we have? I, or L, whatever it is, and then VC, VC. Another 50-50 question. Try to get it down. Okay, cut out half your answer choices. All right, next one. Okay, question 27. Anything there? Okay, so key term, very good. Greatest number, okay? Looking for the biggest, so key term there. Also, you're looking at the results, okay? Not anything within the experiment, just the results. 28, not a whole lot there, okay? 28 is just one you're gonna have to kind of decipher. You are looking just at the dish though, the dish. Okay, 29. Okay, again, they help you here. Least potential, least. Again, results, somebody said that, it's just out of the results. Okay, 30. Okay, let's look real quick at 30. Look at your answer choices. Is there one of these that kind of stands out as like completely different? J. Okay, so if you have one that is like, wow, that doesn't seem to fit any of the others, typically that's not going to be your answer. Okay, that one doesn't seem to fit. The others are all seem very similar. Okay, seem very similar. All right, 31. Key thing here, before the bacteria was added. Okay, so it's telling you a time frame, a reference. 32 tells you where to look, dishes 2 and 3. And honestly, in 33, it's almost like a 50-50. Did not want any bacteria, did not want any bacteria, wanted the bacteria, wanted the bacteria. It's a little more wordy than some of the others, but again, this is a 50-50 question. Try to do process of elimination if you have to. Next passage. Okay, so we get to this point on the test, and what's pretty much happened to everybody? Same thing that's happening right now with you guys. We've all what? Checked out. We're done, right? We're fried. We're toast. It's over, okay? This is where you got to show some endurance and push through a little bit. So I'm going to go through real quick here. I'm going to identify the terms in these just so you can see, and then we'll be done with this, okay? Here, type of plastic, unlike wood. Again, you have some 50-50s. Porous. Does it say non-porous? Non-porous. A 50-50 again. Get it down. 35. Only study 2. Yeah, suppose study 2. 36. Results of study 1. Okay, so again, telling you where to go a little bit. This one, results of the 2 trials in study 2. So again, you got like a 50-50, with sand layer, without, without. Look for questions like that, those 50-50s, process of elimination. 38, study 1. 39, it's study 1, but the same in study 2. So that's a comparison. Again, you got to look at both, a little more difficult. Okay, and then this one, description of study 1. However, there's another concept here, and that is this concept of volume. So this goes back to our math. That formula sheet that we did, that I told you, this is a common one. This is not even on the math section. Are they asking us to calculate that value? No, they're just asking us which one represents that, okay? Again, just a reminder, do you get a calculator on the science test? No, so if they did ask you, you might have to do some, basic math on the side and do some multiplication and stuff. Okay.